welcome to the Flix Forum podcast, where each episode we go back and we look at a Netflix original film in the order of release. This episode we have Netflix 375th film. It's a 2021 French science fiction psychological thriller called Oxygène, or in French, Oxygène. It's directed by Alexandre Aja and stars Melanie Laurent, Mathieu, Amalric, and Malik, Zidi. I am Jesse. I am your host. As always, thank you for joining me for this show. We will spoil this film as we progress through our discussion, but this is our 375th episode of Netflix original films in a row. Obviously, we've done more than that, but this used to be one of our big milestone sort of celebrations where we'd put together a sort of a breakdown of the previous 25 films and what's going on, but we're so far in now. We're so far in. We're actually in 2025 as recording this, if you're listening to this in the future, but a long way to still go as well. But 375 Netflix original films, that's quite a lot. But today we're focusing on Oxygène. So this film, let's start off with the fast flicks, where we do a quick little summary of what the film's all about. So this one is about a woman who is stuck in a capsule with oxygen running out, and she needs to find her way out and why she is there. This is pretty much a one-person film. This is very much a COVID-style film. We'll talk a lot about this as we go through, and we'll discuss the film in a little bit of detail. So, this one, how did it end up on Netflix? What are some titles around the world? So, obviously, the title Oxygène refers to the limited oxygen that this character has in this capsule throughout the film. In Bulgarian, it's called a breath of air. Not bad. And in Chinese, it's called the oxygen crisis. Very blatant, no interpretation needed there. The working title for this one was O2, obviously the chemical, I dropped science in year 10, but I'm pretty sure that's the chemical symbol for oxygen, because then if you put a H in front of it, then we've got the water, H2O. All right, so the tagline for this one, no escape, no memory, 90 minutes to live. So 3 short, sharp little sentences. I'm glad I didn't see this one before I watched the film. This gives away so much. I didn't know anything about the film going into it, which I think sometimes is the best way to attack some of these Netflix original films. We go to July of 2017, where it was announced that Anne Hathaway had joined the cast of this film and would serve as a producer, with Echo Lake Entertainment and I Am Global attached to produce under the working title O2, as mentioned before. This was from a screenplay by Christy LeBlanc. We then go to February of 2020, where it was announced that Noomi Rapace had joined the cast of the film. You'd know her from the Girl with the Dragon tattoo films, and she was replacing Hathaway, with Frank Calfon directing the film and Alexandre Aja serving as the producer. We then go 6 months later to July of 2020, where Melanie Laurent, Mathieu, Amalric, and Malik Zidi joined the cast, replacing Rapace, with Aja serving as the director, replacing Calfon, and Rapace comes in as the producer. So a bit of switching and changing with the cast and crew of this one. Principal photography began in France in July of 2020, which is obviously during the height of a lot of the COVID restrictions around the world, and you can sort of see how this one-person sort of film would have been quite an effective film to be able to make with limited people on set. We go to February of 2021, where the film had been completed and it was reported to have the new title of Oxygène. So this one was released on Netflix worldwide on the 12th of May 2021. It was nominated at the Portland in America Critics Association Awards for Best Science Fiction Feature as well. So one little recognition there from an awards ceremony. What are the critics and audiences saying about this film? On Rotten Tomatoes, this sits at 90%. That's on 106 reviews, and so that is certified fresh from the critics. Audience a little bit lower, 74%. That's on more than 500 ratings. IMDb a fairly solid score, 6.5 out of 10 on 46,000 ratings. Again, quite high numbers here. Letterboxd, 3.1 out of 5. Again, solid on 57,500 ratings, and it's been logged by 74,000 people. That is so many. Metacritic's fairly solid on that traffic light system of red, yellow, and green. The critics, it sits at a 67 out of 100 on 20 critic reviews. So that is green on that traffic light system. And the audience sits at a 7 out of 10 on 84 reviews, also green. Positives all round for this film. What are my early thoughts? I think it's definitely one of those COVID feeling films, that limited cast, the locations, and so on. And for most of the way, the film is super effective and well put together. We'll get to the ending a little bit later on. That's where we're at. So the character, it's very hard. Like, this is a 100-minute sort of film. There's not actually much character progression. This is about the intensity that is provided to the audience in feeling trapped in this situation, like our main character Elizabeth, or Liz Hansen. This is literally her film. She's in 99% of the scenes, whether that's in the capsule or through some flashbacks throughout as well, which sort of, the flashbacks are super important to the narrative and understanding what's actually going on with her as well. She's awoken from this cryogenic sort of capsule and cryogenic capsule, and she has to work out why she's there, who she is, what she's meant to do. And part of this is that she's a Nobel Prize winning doctor in cryogenic genetics as well. Milo is Liz's only company in her capsule for the whole film. It's this AI computer system that she uses to discover more about her being and place in the world, and played with that robotic sort of and annoying voice that has no personality or no adjustments in tone or level, and frustrations throughout, because very lateral and literal in thinking, and only answers specific questions. Leo Gergeson. This is the guy who Liz throughout the film is told doesn't exist. Her husband that she thinks he is, and this is getting into spoiler territory, but the back end of this film is about clones and him being a clone as well, and her trying to get to him as a clone herself. The director, Alexandre Aja, French director, done some Hollywood films like the remake of The Hills Have Eyes that I remember. I think it was like 2004, possibly. I was late high school. I remember seeing that film, enjoying it. The Piranha 3D film, again, another one that I not vaguely, but vividly remember sitting at my house with a whole bunch of mates watching. The Horns, the Daniel Radcliffe adaptation of Stephen King's Sons novel, as well as Crawl and Never Let Her Go with Halle Berry from 2024 as well. So quite a good range of films there. Obviously works well in that horror sort of enclosed space environment. The scenes, let's talk about the scenes in this film. What stood out, what didn't. It's tricky because most of the reviews that I read online were just these thousands of words, these big words that didn't actually say much about the film, which I don't hate because it's hard to talk about. It's hard to identify things from this film with that one location setup. So the opening of this film, super effective. These red flashing lights, these tubes, this fishnet sort of cocoon, it really got you in the mood straight away. And obviously throughout this film, the acting is excellent, like super excellent. If Melanie Laurent wasn't in this film, I think this film would have struggled, because she provides what this film needs from that one character dynamic. Things that didn't work, mice, they play a part in the experimentation of cloning throughout the film. The idea you see them once or twice, but the overuse as a jump scare tactic was a little bit lame. As I've mentioned before, the flashbacks, they were super important, but at times they were overused for just stupid shots of nature, like trees and leaves and beaches. Didn't really add much to the film. And finally, there's this phone call that Liz has with her mother, almost to say goodbye. It really didn't add anything to the narrative, because we hadn't spoken to her mother before or known anything about her mother, so probably could have been left on the cutting room floor. Some themes, some ideas. What's this movie trying to say? It's obviously about piecing together ideas of identity, who you are, where you stand in the world, what's your purpose. And that ties in with survival and isolation and loss and uncertain futures, and that idea of being trapped as well. And ties in, obviously, with COVID and what was happening at the time when this was released. It's hard to not make that connection, because also the title, Oxygène, and the idea of people not being able to breathe, and Leo, Liz's husband, having this virus that was claimed to have killed millions. It all ties in very nicely. Experimenting on animals is there too. It's hard not to think about the harm caused to them and the guilt that we see through Liz as well, that some people must feel when doing this. And there's also that idea, though, that humans do have choice, and this was done subtly through Liz and Leo. There's a flashback where she asks him, are you sure you want to go through with this? So he obviously had a choice, whereas these animals don't. And AI as well. AI character of Milo in this film keeps Liz company throughout, but he's not that smart, like really that intelligence, not that smart. You need that human connection to push for the next level, which probably plays a big part in how we're feeling about AI in the world at the moment too. What did I take away from this one? For this tightly filmed production, it looks so good throughout. The special effects at stages when there's shots of space and these capsules in space and this not mechanical, or this robotic arm that comes out to administer injections and things, all done really well. I thought that was excellent. No criticisms on that end from me. All right, IMDb. Sometimes we jump on to check out where we recognize people from. So Melanie Laurent, obviously a name that I'm familiar with, and in her, and I was just like, I can't think what I'd seen her in. So I jumped on IMDb to see what are some things she'd been in that I'd seen. So lots of American films. Inglourious Bastards, the Quentin Tarantino film, which, you know, we know as he's a director, often launches the careers of many people too. She was in the Now You See Me Magician film as well, and then also a lot of Netflix originals that we've covered on this show too, like Six Underground with, was it Ryan Gosling? One of the Ryans. No, Ryan Reynolds. Well, I can't remember. No, Ryan Reynolds, I think it was. And also in the Murder Mystery 2 film with Adam Sandler, the sequel to Murder Mystery, the Netflix original too. Some questions, some pondering, some thoughts on this film. I think throughout this film, Liz is offered a sedative so many times by her robotic friend. I think if someone offered me a sedative that much and I was that stressed, I probably would have taken it just to relax for a little bit and then come back to the situation. She didn't take it. But the idea of keeping humanity alive is a big part in this film, and that's why they're offering these ships as clones and sending these people to a new planet. But they're actually clones. They're not human. So how are you keeping humanity alive? You're not. Needles. I spoke about the sedative before, but needles, like, I'm not a big fan of needles, and this brings back so many memories of the fear and stress of getting needles just throughout. I really like this. This was from a website called Real Views, and they said, one of the age-old questions about movies is whether a terrible ending can ruin an otherwise solid motion picture. And I've got to finish with this because my biggest frustration with the film, like I said, the start was great, all done well, looked good, on the edge of your seat, trying to work out what's going on. But at the end of the film, you get this, it wasn't even right at the end of the film, there was still like half an hour to go, but there's this reveal of other pods in space with Liz, lots of other people that are all tied up, and revealed that they've all got oxygen. And as an audience, you know, oh yeah, they've got oxygen. So why doesn't she take some of the oxygen from them? And it just meanders along until the end when Liz finally realizes, hey, why don't I use their oxygen? Like, seriously? And like, we are smart as a film audience. Yeah, like, it's so obvious that's what. But I don't know, I just really frustrated me. And also the end too, we have her clone, Liz's clone, on the beach with Leo, and they've got Earth in the background, and it's like, yes, she survived, so yes, successful film, but humanity in its truest form didn't survive. They're clones. So to me, it's not necessarily a really uplifting ending, to be honest. Anyway, I'm ready to wrap this one up. We give the film a rating out of 5 on this show. Like I've said throughout, this is well made, it's well performed. The issue is the ending. It's just very predictable and doesn't give the audience credit, which pushed this down a little bit for me. I'm still giving it a 3 out of 5 because it is worth a watch. We're on socials. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, and we have X, formerly known as Twitter. Give us a follow, give us a like if you can. The question that I wanted to ponder for this episode is the idea of, would you allow yourself to be cloned? Would it be so important that your memory lives on and it's able to continue in the world once your physical body is gone? For me, no. Like, I just think once you're done. Like, relax, chill. You know, don't stress about what's going to happen afterwards. It's like, you've just got to let it go. Anyway, other people might have other thoughts. Let us know. We are back next week. We are back next week with another international film. This one is from 2021. It's the Belgo-Dutch crime drama called Ferry. This one's directed by Cecilia Verhende and stars Frank Lemmers, Elise Schaap, and Hoob Staple. Cool. Belgian-Dutch crime drama. Collab. Interested? Got no idea. We'll see what it's like next week. If you're interested, watch it. Join us then. As always, thanks for joining me.